Flosstube, it's Kim. I'm back again for another weekly update. It is Monday, March 4th. For those of you who are curious about North Dakota weather, it is currently 2 degrees above zero, but with winds 28 to 41 miles an hour. So that brings the wind chill down to about negative 22. Our closest U.S. weather station in Bismarck stated that last month, so February 2019, for our area, North Dakota, was the second coldest in recorded history. That's over 100 years of recorded weather history, and this was the second coldest. And it's my first winter here in North Dakota, so it's a great welcome to North Dakota. Here's the worst that we can throw at you. I feel like it's never ever going to warm up. Like, I live in Winterfell and it's going to be winter for years. Last week it got into the teens, above zero, 2 days in a row, and it was absolutely wonderful because you could go outside, and if you didn't have your gloves for the couple minutes it takes you to walk from the car to a store or take my youngest from the car into the preschool, it was okay. Your fingers didn't immediately hurt. You know, the wind isn't trying to freeze the tears in your eyes as you walk against the wind. So that was wonderful. But now it's back to ungodly. Although they say on Friday it's supposed to get up to 20 degrees above zero. So we're really excited about that. This past week I watched Lisa Stitching and Such, her latest Flosstube. She's in Australia, I believe, or New Zealand. So it's very warm down there, very much the opposite of where we are. The cicadas were singing in the entire video, and it was just like a balm to my soul to listen to cicadas while it's freezing outside. So that was cool. All right, stitching. Last week we had 2 different homeworks because of the end of February and the beginning of March. So the last few days of February, the homework was because Dobby was a free elf, so you could work on whatever you wanted to work on. And you get 1 point for every 200 stitches, or in my case, every 410 stitches on my full coverage pieces. And so you know I was close on to a page finish for Beauty and the Beast. So that's by Tilton Crafts. That's what it looks like. And again, I was right here in her hair, in the beast's hair. So I did 2 sets of 400 because one set wasn't enough to get to the page finish, so I got the page finish and went a little bit further so I can get 2 points for Beauty and the Beast. And there's a page finish. There she is in all her glory. You can see the extra I did was up here in the beast's hair. That was a big block of color, so that part was easy. So there's a page finish. My personal goal for this piece was only 1 page this year, but that's because I had set page goals for all of my full coverage pieces. However, once Moon Hair is done, I need to pick which piece I'm going to be setting myself up for success to finish a full coverage piece next year. So it's either going to be this one, which that's 8 pages done out of 30 pages, but the pages are smaller than in a Haid. And this stitches up a lot quicker than some Haids. So it's either going to be this one or Oh Baby, which is the liver chestnut full Haid that I'm doing. I haven't decided yet because color burnout is a thing. It does happen. And I tend to get color burnout on this one pretty easily because of all the blue. Even in the Beast, most of the Beast is different shades of blue as well. So I'm going to see when I finish Moon Hair. I'll start, if I don't finish Moon Hair in March, for April, the start of quarter 2, the 90-day challenge, I will continue with Moon Hair, and then I might pick this one to finish the quarter. Finish the quarter and see if I can do a little bit each day and not reach that color burnout. And just another note, this one does stay on the Q-snap all the time, but as you can see, when I'm not working on it, I don't keep tension on the fabric. So when I store my pieces, if they're still on the Q-snap, I will move the clamps a little bit and release the tension. So that's Beauty and the Beast. That's 25 count, easy count fabric. And then we still had time left until the end of February, and I wanted to work on something easy. So I picked up this freebie that I started earlier in February by Glendon Place. It's called Friendship Compass. This is a free chart you can get through her Facebook group, Glendon Place Stitchers. In this chart, there are 6 floss symbols and 4 bead symbols, and none of the colors are specified. You get to pick all your colors. And this is the one that's kind of like an ode to all the previous stitchers before me. I'm using fabric from the 94-year-old woman's stash that I bought when she went to the nursing home. I'm using my grandma's old floss stash, and I chose the colors to match the quilt my husband's grandma made as a wedding present for us. That's on our guest bed. So I did a lot. Last time you saw this, all of the dark pink reddish color in the center and the green in the center was done, and I had started on the lighter pink. So I told you I don't know if I'm going to have enough floss, so I just keep building this symmetrically since it is a mandala design. Building it symmetrically so that when I do run out of floss, I can just quit there and it'll look finished. So the darker green that you see in the very center will be the other pieces to finish the circle. So I did over 1,400 stitches for 7 more points for Ravenclaw in the School of Magical Stitches and Literature. And some of those empty spaces will be filled with beads, some of them will not. So you just have to wait and see what it looks like. This is 14 count Fiddler's Ada. It's really soft, it's not stiff at all, so it's nice to work on. And then that brought us to the beginning of March. And the first few days of March, Vicki and Kate had us post a list of our whips, a maximum of 20, prior to the start of March, not telling us what it was for, which was interesting because some people were like, well, should I do some new starts so I have 20? And I'm thinking, you don't know what they're going to ask, so maybe I should do some finishes on my small so I have less. But it turned out their idea was pretty cool. In Prisoner of Azkaban, the number 13 is prevalent, with Harry turning 13. Sirius Black was accused of killing 13 people, and of course, Harry's birthday is on July 31st, so a reverse of those numbers. And so what they told us to do is, if you had enough whips on your list, you take your 13th whip, and you put in 300, I think it was 300 stitches. My 13th whip happened to be a 10 stitch piece, so I had to do 600 stitches. It was Hogwarts travel poster. This is by Country Magic Stitch on Etsy, but it's by custom order only. And you knew that I was about here up. I had all that done. This was my New Year, New Start. That's only 3 different shades of blue. So what I did is went back to this other big color of blue, and I started filling in this section right here. I did the outline first of the turrets, so then I could just fill in and go really quickly. And I did. I got it done in like half a day, because this is 28 count 1/1 on Monaco. So you can see I didn't quite get it all filled in there, but there is lots of blue sky for Hogwarts travel poster. And I gridded the whole thing, so you can see it's not going to be very big when you put it on 28 count 1/1. So then, that was, the first was a Friday. I had it done in half a day. So I was like, well, what else do I do? Well, they had also put up all the stitching and reading extra credit for March and April. So I looked at what I want to work on in March for Full Coverage Fanatics and looked at the extra credit, stitching extra credit and magical stitches, excuse me, to see how I can make it fit. And what I wanted to, the March monthly theme in Full Coverage Fanatics is vintage. So I told you I was going to work on A Summer Ball by Sandy Littlejohns. This looks like it's straight out of Pride and Prejudice to me. And again, if you want to buy this pattern, you can go to Cross Stitch Arts on Facebook or on Patreon. This website is no longer active. I think you can get it for like $5 for the PDF. And it is charted in Anchor. So I'm stitching it in Anchor and enjoying it. I'm on page 2. So I just kept filling in this blush pink dress, and then all this empty space is going to be white. So I started filling in her bodice and up here above her gloves. Her gloves are also white, so the back stitch lines are very important there. So I put in, for the extra credit task, 500 stitches and something that reminds you of a crystal ball. Well, this piece is called A Summer Ball, so you got the resemblance there. And also at these balls, the ladies wore their finest dresses and jewels to try to catch a husband. And I bet you they wish they would have had a crystal ball to be able to find out if they would be securing a husband in that time. So I will keep working on this. I did the 500 and I started counting again because I'm probably going to use it for the Patronus charm task, which is stitch on something you love. This was my new year, new start for last year, and I absolutely love this piece. So I will continue to do another 500 for that. Plus, it's my by the numbers 1200 piece for Full Coverage Fanatics. So I'm definitely going to get 1200 stitches. And as I said last week, I don't like to waste my stitches, so I'm going to try to make them fit in magical stitches as much as I can. So I'm going to keep going on that once I finish this week's homework. And moon hair, as I said, I don't like to waste my stitches and I work on it every single day. So here's what moon hair looks like. This is my everyday piece for the 90-day Full Coverage Fanatics Challenge. I'm on this page right here with all the flowers. So for the end of February, I also did one set of stitches for another point for Ravenclaw. But this is tent stitching, so that was 400 confetti stitches. And then over this weekend, since again I'm stitching on it every day, the task that I chose in the March extra credit, was the Dementor task, something that sucks the life out of you. And well, confetti stitches certainly suck the life out of you. You're supposed to do 200 stitches, so 400 tent stitches for me. I am so close to a page finish. I will get that page before you see it next. So sometime this week, I'll get a page finish there and then start on this page, which goes to about here. There's a lot of blocks of color on this page, with the yellow running across and the blue coming down. So I'm looking forward to that as a break from all the confetti. Get you a little closer, see if my phone will focus. And you can see I'm pretty close. Just areas around the flowers and in the plant up there. So, some statistics. In January, I stitched 7,600 stitches on moon hair for the month of January. In February, even though I did those three days where I stitched only on this to finish this page. This page. I only stitched 6,700 in February, so 11. Let me do my math. 900 less in February, and we'll see how I do for March. See how close I get to a finish on that. So here's Moonhair. Working on him every day. I already did the work on him today, so I already posted my update in the 90-day challenge event in Full Coverage Fanatics. Let's see. I want to say thank you to Nikki from Nikki Crafts for her shout out. She just posted a video yesterday with her February update, and she was showing Trick or Treat. She's also working on it. She started in the top left corner, so I like it if there's a bunch of people doing the same piece. I like to see different parts of it. So that's one reason why I started at the bottom, because there are other people working on it and they're working at the top part. So that's why I chose the bottom. And she said in her video that it's really confetti heavy around these tree leaves. So I'm glad that I'm just doing the black right now, Extreme Cross Country, because the confetti and Moonhair is enough for me for right now. So this week's homework, I should say, is we are visiting Diagon Alley, and we need to purchase 3 things. You need to say what the object is, although you don't have to stitch that particular object on your piece, and tell what store it would be in. And it's 250 stitches per item. Or in my case, since I picked all full coverage pieces that are tent stitch, it's 500 stitches per item. So I'll be doing 1,500 stitches for homework this week. I could use this piece for all 3 items, because there's a black cat. There is a witch on a broomstick, so I could buy a broom, I could buy a cat, and some dragon's blood or dragon liver from the apothecary. But I've already worked on this several times this year, so I am going to work on it for the black cat to go to Magical Menagerie. So this will get 510 stitches in black. I didn't bring that today because you've seen it every week and you know what it looks like. And then a piece that I have not worked on yet this year, also by Randall Spangler, is Sundae Delight. One of the stores in Diagon Alley is Florian Fortescue's Ice Cream Parlor. Well, there's an ice cream sundae. And there's 2 draglings, so I'm going to get some dragon's blood or dragon liver. So this piece will get 1,000 stitches. And I brought that with me so you can see where I'm at. This is the piece where I did all the partial pages first. So I've got all this done. And I started on the banana last year. I made a huge mistake on this last year because I was working up from that partial page, and I had to rip out 2,000 stitches. Luckily, it was only 5 colors, so it didn't take that long, but it was still enough that this piece went into timeout for a little bit. But I think it's ready to come back out. And I'm going to count, and I'm going to count, and I'm going to count again to make sure I don't make the same mistake. So there's where I'm at. There's the partial pages. The white that I have in here is the most used color in this chart. It is actually charted for all that white to be Krynic. And I said no, because to me, it would make sense to use Krynic for the vanilla ice cream, but not for the table. So I haven't decided yet if I'm going to use Krynic in the ice cream, but definitely not for the table, or let's see, the table, the dishes. So the dishes up here, the big bowl of ice cream here. So I might use Krynic in the ice cream where it is, and maybe the lid to the cherries. We'll see how much there is in the silverware. But down here, I didn't think a table should be shiny or sparkly. So you can see that's the start of the banana. I had a whole lot done there, but I had to rip it out. So this will get 1,000, and then Trick or Treat will get 500. And then after that, I'll continue to work on a summer ball for the piece that makes you happy for the Patronus. And also because, like I said, I don't like to waste my stitches. One of the other extra credit for March and April is it's a time turner where it's a redo. So if you didn't complete a challenge previously in the year, you can go back and do that challenge. Or if you did complete all the challenges so far, you can repeat one of the extra credit tasks in March and April. So I'm going to, you have to do 500 stitches. So I'm going to count again on Moonhair as a piece that sucks the life out of you, because there isn't very many other tasks and extra credit and ultimate tasks that I can count Moonhair. So I'm going to use Moonhair since I'm working on it every day and count those stitches. So that's 1,000 more 10 stitches that will count towards extra credit. And that's it for the day. The little bells you hear ringing is Hopper moving around in his cage. I'm going to continue to try to stay warm. You can see I got my hoodie on to stay comfortable in the house, just because the wind is blowing so hard outside. It's, shaking the windows and whistling in the screens, especially our big sliding door to the backyard. There's not much blowing snow because it's been so cold for so long. The snow is frozen, so it's not blowing in the wind. But all right, everybody have a good stitchy day, and I will see you next week. Bye, guys.